That's intimidating.
A little
Isn't
bit.
it?
All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Tuesday night music show hangout. The Tuesday night thing. We have, as always, whether you see him or not, but we made him stay on camera tonight, our superstar engineer / producer, Mr. Howie Darkstar, is in the house. And, of course, from Swingin' Temecula, California, as always, Pastor J. Brannan. How you doing?
Good. Root beer tonight. It's root beer.
Wow. I'm proud of you.
Oh, damn it. I opened the wrong bottle. It's an IPA.
Oh, all right. Well, we tried.
I'm not going to let it go to waste. Sorry. Waste not, want not. How is everyone?
I'm good. I worked this weekend. How about the rest of you?
I worked this weekend. This past weekend or the one coming up?
In the past, well, I thought we'd talk about the gigs we had over the weekend here.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I worked this past weekend as well.
Yeah, good.
Great job.
And here
Great
that
night.
I did get a booking. So
You got a booking.
yeah, unbelievable. It's called Provisional in Jersey. They are allowing people to reserve the parks on a provisional basis, meaning
Right.
that they can take it back whenever they want.
Right. If everything works out well, you can have it, but if it doesn't, well, then we can't do it.
Right. So I may or may not have a great summer.
You're going to have a great summer. It's going to pop, and when it does pop, you're going to be busy. You're going to get a lot of last minute stuff because that's kind of the nature of this, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's like what you were talking about a few weeks ago. You know, things are coming in last minute, and I have to be prepared. And I'm prepared, and I remain hopeful.
Well, you're a pretty positive guy, and I know it's getting harder and harder the longer this goes. It's happening here. I think I got 4 separate bookings last week.
Nice.
They came in. They were either referrals or from the agency. I turned one down. So, you know, I'm at the liberty to turn events down now, which is kind of nice.
That's cool.
And I have my grandson's 2nd birthday party coming up next month. I had to block the date out, and I noticed that everything around it is booked. So it's starting to happen, and it wasn't happening not too long ago. Now it's just happening. So hang tight, man. If you're not working yet in your market, I have a feeling you'll be working very soon. As soon as it looks safe and they lift the restrictions, everyone's going to want to party. Everyone's going to want to book a hall.
Yep.
I think I mentioned it last week. Maybe, actually, no, I did not mention it last week. I kind of sort of accidentally booked a show for a Wednesday in October in Indianapolis. Now, I live nowhere near Indianapolis, by the way. It's a 5-hour drive.
Wow. And what's up with the Wednesday?
Okay, well, first of all, it's my nephew Joey.
Oh, okay.
Joseph booking his wedding on a Wednesday does not surprise me because Joseph's just, well, he's Joseph, you know.
Right.
But
smart money move.
Here's the reason he did it. They had their heart set on a venue. It's an old historic mansion. They wanted a fall wedding. They wanted fall colors. And they couldn't get this venue any other time in fall other than a midweek situation. And the people who are going to be there are people who live either close by who are friends or family like us who can go ahead and come. Now, when he told me a wedding on a Wednesday, he's like, can you come? I'm like, well, of course. You know, it's easier for me to come to a midweek wedding for you guys than it is for me to, you know, block a weekend out. You know, I drive down 5 hours or drive back 5 hours. It's not a big deal. And I'm thinking he's doing nothing. He's going to have, 20 people having sandwiches afterward. But it turns out he's got 75 people. He's having a legit ceremony outside. Then he's having the reception indoors for 75. So when I said, can I bring music instead of a Maui 5 Go? Yeah, it turns out it's a full system. So I'll be there doing that for him. Of course, as a gift, it's my nephew. But
nice.
But there's reasoning behind this midweek stuff, and I think we're going to see a lot of this as things open up and everybody tries to pack 2 years worth of stuff into one season.
Let me guess the uplight colors: amber and green.
You know what? He doesn't
Fall.
even know. I'll do fall colors.
Yeah, fall
But, I mean, he
colors.
doesn't even know what to ask. I mean, Joe is just like, well, Uncle Brian, you're a pro. You'll just take care of it. So, you know,
There you go.
Joe, trust me, we're going to make sure Joe's taken care of. But yeah, I mean, midweek stuff. I mean, this is obviously just a family thing, but it's going to happen. I think you're going to see more and more of it, especially this year, as people are trying to get so much squeezed in right now. And you'll see it too, Jay, being at a destination wedding market. I'm sure you'll see some stuff that's turning up on unique dates that you don't normally see booked.
Yeah, I think the palette's really open this year. I think people don't view it as Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I think they just view it as go. I think I told you guys a couple weeks ago, I got a call when I was down in San Diego driving around for parking and ended up booking October 21st, which is a Thursday.
Wow.
And I'm already booked that Friday and Saturday. And it's like, okay,
Sure.
I'm booked this Friday, this Sunday, next Tuesday, next Thursday, and I think Friday, Saturday.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now we've often referred to, like, you know, Saturdays are our inventory, so to speak. Wouldn't that be the same for venues? Like, that's their inventory, the prime days. Maybe they're already booked, and that's why people are doing these weekday things.
That's exactly why they're doing it.
Yeah.
There's no
Well,
choice.
you guys remember the numerology stuff. I did a wedding on, I didn't do 111. I did 222. I did 333. I did 444, 555. I did all the numbers. And the one that I said back in 2005, because I remember having this conversation with some DJs, the big one is going to be Saturday, July 7th, 2007. And people were like, no, I don't think so. And I don't remember what my regular rate was, but the clients that hired me for that date paid me $3,500 because it was 777.
Right.
They were gamblers. They made it known when they called me. Like, really, and they hired me in 05. They said, really hope you're available. It's a big date. We're big Vegas people. It's 777. I said, I am available, and my 777 package is $3,500. And they were like, no problems.
Maybe
And that was probably 1.5 times or 2 times what we were charging back in those days.
maybe they were just big fans of the song by the time 777-9311.
Nope, they were not. They were not,
Well,
Brian.
talk about
sure?
gambling. What, 10, 20,
Yeah,
20
they-
was everybody was like getting big
Oh,
money for it.
You know what? And I hate to say this,
That
but I'm
was a
probably
bust.
the only one I know. I didn't get that date. I didn't even get a hit for that date. And I remember being really upset about it. Like, everyone's pulling 10, 20, 10, 10, 20. Like, how am I not getting a hit for this? And then when it all fell apart, I'm like, wow, okay, so I didn't miss anything,
Yeah.
No, you didn't.
you know? But yeah, I think there's a new mentality. There's a new, we don't know what the future holds. So now the gloves are off, and that changes the dynamics for us. We don't have to play that. Monday's different. I don't know what you guys do. Everyone does their business the way they do it, and I respect that. But as I told the Thursday bride, I charge the same every day of the week. I do the same job. I bring the same gear. I do the same thing, and I don't see that my time is less valuable. And her response to me was, makes sense to me. Okay.
So, Howie, I need you to be the clock keeper on this. Because I'm
Oh,
going to ask
okay.
you a
You're going to do a
question.
thing?
I'm going to ask you a question, and if I don't put a time limit on this, it's going to burn the hour. Because I know this man. So let's give him a clock of 3 minutes on this. If I remember right, Jay, you were pretty pumped about your wedding this weekend, about how it went down.
It went
And
well.
I thought I would give you a whole 3 minutes that we'll time you on to give us the Reader's Digest on this and tell us all about it.
Okay.
Go.
All right. I wish I had the actual playlist, but I remember most of it. The wedding was scheduled to go 4 to 10. And 4 to 10 means 4 to 4:30 prelude, 4:30 to 5 ceremony, 5 to about 6:15 cocktail. What happened was 4:15 we started the ceremony, ended at 4:30, cocktail ended at 5:30, so we were actually about 45 minutes ahead of schedule. Supposed to have 90, had 70. So dinner didn't take as long. So instead of getting on the dance floor at 7:15, we're on the dance floor at 7.
Okay.
Now
so
the
you're
challenge
there,
for me
yeah.
becomes, it's sunny out. And that's my first thing. The bride and groom, very cool. He's a police officer. She is a nurse, which is a combination I've done like 8 weddings in the last year of. And they like country. They like 80s. So cocktail hour, 80s rock, which is all they said. Oh, we love 80s rock. And I said, okay, I got you. And, we all know our music, but there's a point where you're like, okay, this is the 8th Def Leppard song and AC/DC song I've played. Where else do I want to go?
Right.
And some country. And then dinner was Luke Combs, Jason Aldean, Chris Stapleton. That was dinner. And then we get to the dance floor. And it has been years since I DJ'd this hard. I was all over the map. I was boot scootin' boogie into low, my Little John into Luke Bryan. I played DMX Party Up with Humpty Dance.
Yep.
I tried to get them as much music as I could. Now, I am the first to admit, so if anyone out there wants to send me a DM or anything about this, thank you, Nick Hahn. I have a lot of country music from my promo-only pool account. But knowing country music and having it are really two different things. JC, I see, is here. I have a ton of Latin music, but knowing which songs to play...
Oh, yeah.
It's a huge... To me, country and Latin are very similar in that you think, well, this song's faster, I'll play this. And, oh, no, that's a two-step. You got to play this one. And man, I got challenged, but I really felt good at the end of the night. And they were super, super stoked on, man, you were all over the map. This was awesome. Like, we heard everything we could have heard. And I'm like, there would be sets of like Sam Hunt and Jason Aldean. And they started doing two-step. And I don't have a ton of the stuff, but I started playing like Swing Batter. Then I suddenly out of nowhere went into the fast stuff. The only complaint from the bride was she wanted the dirty version of Big Sean Dance.
Right.
And every version I had in the window was clean edit, clean intro, clean radio. I'm like, yeah, I don't have the dirty one. She's like, you don't? I'm like, you realize you're upset with me because I don't have a song that swears. Like, I think that's not bad. I told you up front, I don't play any. And in the meeting, I said, in the meeting, you were really cool with that. But you're like 6 White Claws and a couple 805s into this. I see your attitude's changed. She gave me a big hug, kiss on the cheek, just laughed it off. She was happy.
Right.
But that was the complaint of the night was I didn't have a dirty version of a song.
You can live with that.
I can live with that too. But it was just fun because it was one of those groups that, sometimes there's a flow on the dance floor and you kind of can't screw up. You kind of have it in your head where you're going.
Yeah.
This was one of those nights where every song was critical.
Yeah.
And it was great.
Howie says your time. So you did good.
I'm done.
3. I had go ahead, Howie. What's that?
He did good.
He did good. Yeah.
Yeah, in 3 minutes. Look at that.
We're editing Jay for time.
By the way, side note, when I get that...
He honestly did good.
He did.
When I get the playlist off the other computer, it's in Serato History, I'll put it in the chill room chat. Just, once I get it, I'll copy it and send it over. Just even for me to look at again and be like, damn, I can't believe I played DMX and that together. But it all seemed to work.
Yeah, I gigged this weekend too. It was the college party with 0 direction, not one song request.
You should have played Johnny Deep.
I know.
Yeah. What's up with that?
Start at this time, end at that time. No, it was a good party though. It was a good party, and it was the first time since this pandemic hit that it felt like a normal party. I mean, there were well over 200 people there. The situation was strange, and I'm not sure. If you look at the video, you can suss it out, I think, because it's supposed to be a party for 200 where I was at the Rotunda. This group was from Illinois, and the reason they came to Wisconsin is because we're less restrictive here in Waukesha County. So they came up here with a group of 500. They didn't think they were going to have that many people, but they just kept selling tickets to this event because everybody was excited about going somewhere they could actually party. So they rented out the other venue like 4 blocks away that the same catering event company runs. And they had a 300-person party there. I don't know who the DJ was, but I suspect that some people from that party ended up at mine because mine looked like more than 200 there for a while. It was pretty packed, but it was fun. And it was all over the board and everybody was cool. It was a good party. It was the first normal party I feel like I've had in a long time. I'm fully vaccinated, so I just don't really care anymore. It's like, whatever. I never policed this in the first place, but I wasn't nervous about anything because I'm not going to bring anything home to my family. We're good. We're all vaccinated. So.
It looked really fun. I mean, it looked like it was a good time. Yeah. The one thing nobody asked that I've got to ask you, did you do all that blue uplighting?
No, the hall did the blue. Or it was green, actually.
Oh, green. Okay.
It was green. They've got bars with some little, like, I don't know what you call them, little shrouds around them around the dance floor that they provide. And then I had just 6 maxis up, and that was more than enough lighting for it. Just, flashing to the music, fading to the music. And my Abe stuff was punchier than their stuff, so it punched through it. And that stuff was, kind of by me. I had all 6 lights kind of by me. So I don't know.
Yeah, I was wondering that the dance floor looked very colorful and it did look like it was in music mode. Was that your 6 maxis doing that?
Yeah.
Yeah, because that was nice and it was packed.
They were just green static. But it was a busy night, and I went everywhere from Latin to Bollywood to old school hip hop to new hip hop to EDM. It was all over the place. So it was really a mix of music, and much like Jay, sometimes you hit a flow and you just go. But this gig also was kind of like, okay, every song is kind of, everything lies in the next song, and I'm not sure how this is going to go because I've never done this before, but we're going to try it. My gig was like that too, and it was fun. I really enjoyed it, and I really enjoyed the people who I interacted with, and they were happy that I was so cool about everything too, because they would come up and ask for songs, and I would do my best to play them for them, and they would say, most DJs we've worked with just don't do this. Thank you so much. Very gracious. Everyone was very gracious.
Probably get repeat. It was funny.
I don't know. It's hard to say because they are graduate students, which means they're probably done with school.
Well, but they might remember you when they have their own weddings or private parties or whatever. So
I'm hoping so.
I think every event you do is that for a future event as well. Because you never know.
We want that guy.
And the venue, too. You've done that venue before, so they know, hey, this guy's good.
The venue came up to me like toward the end with a girl, I guess the second in command there, I just want you to know that you killed it, dude. I've never seen it like this before. I'm like, well, thank you.
Wow.
Remember that next time somebody asks you for a recommendation for a DJ, here's a card,
Well, you got to sell. Yeah, no, totally.
I mean, I wasn't trying to sell, but it's like, if you like it that much and you like working with me, then you need to tell people about me when they ask about a DJ. I'm the guy you talk to.
But that's the sell. I don't mean sell like to them. I mean, remind them that this is your livelihood and that it would be nice for them to translate that same message to a client down the road. The bartender who I work every event with at this venue the other night said, I went up and I said, I think you're going to like tonight because I got a feeling it's going to be a good vibe. And he said something really interesting. He said, oh, cool. Are they going to let you DJ? And what he meant was just what we understood it to mean. They're going to let me do my thing to keep them happy and not have me on the short leash of here's all the music. Mm-hmm. Really quick, I'm coming in there this Friday and I spoke with my clients last night and I didn't really have much on the clients. They kind of waited to the last minute to get me involved in the process. Mm-hmm. I'm not, the Brian S. Red, music savant you know, where was I, what was I wearing when I was in San Dimas at 7 guy.
Shut up.
But I think I know a decent amount of music.
You do. Yeah.
She probably gave me 8 groups or artists that I was typing away feverishly onto YouTube because I didn't have a clue what it was. And in a nutshell, the theme from the bride side is picture a bald gentleman with a beard walking over a mountain with a falcon and maybe a sword and that pounding rhythmic drum of a Nordic war cry. That's the vibe she's going for.
Nice.
And I said, so this will be sort of like those Lilith, not Lilith, but those Renaissance fair.
I was thinking
steroid.
Renaissance, Ren Fair, yeah.
Yeah, and she goes, you get me, don't you? Apparently. So,
yeah.
I mean, like, Cocktail is just kind of cool vibes, some reggae, this and that, because he's into punk, she's not. But Dinner, the most recognizable songs I'll be playing at dinner are from an artist I have not played in probably 15, 16 years, Enya.
Oh, yeah.
She wants Enya, Sarah Brightman, Wardruna, which is the, and she said, think Lord of the Rings and Vikings. That's where I'm coming from.
Get some beer.
Yeah, we wanted, right, exactly. We want to do a toast out of a horn. I go, of course you do. And she starts laughing like that. And she goes, you totally get me, don't you? I'm like, I get that you're nuts.
Okay, just a heads up, Jay. And I've got several things I would like to say in response to everything you just said.
Please do.
Before I forget, just be ready with some Depeche Mode and some New Order and things like that. Because the Ren Fair people usually also dig 80s alternative. And I don't know why, but they do.
I'm thinking I may get to play Pure Energy by Information Society.
I'm thinking Just Can't Get Enough by Depeche Mode is going to be a big song for you.
Yes, I think that'll be on lockdown. Well, I thought for dinner with all of her stuff that I could get away with like Stripped or Blasphemous Rumors.
Stripped by Adamant?
No, Stripped by Depeche Mode.
Stripped by Adamant would work very well because Adamant has that whole...
Well, he's got that whole look, I'm a pirate.
Right, so...
That new romantic vibe.
Strip would be good, or... I mean, even Goody Two Shoes. I'm just riffing here. Be ready with 80s...
Oh, I am. Yeah.
Like that. Think Richard Blade, 80s. And
I talked to him the other day, by the way.
Oh, right. How's Rich doing? I haven't talked to him in a long time.
He's doing well. He's doing well.
He needs to be on the show.
This is the actual notes. Love Irish music, Frank Sinatra, Rancid, Social Distortion, Bastard Son, ska, reggae, Flogging Molly, of course, Dinner, Lord of the Rings, Frank Sinatra is... from Hawaii, like Somewhere Over the Rainbow, Wonderful World.
Right.
Sarah Brightman, Young Dubliners, want to do a toast with a horn and asked if I could explain it. And I said, once you tell me what the hell it is. And again, she just laughed. She goes, it's too bad I have hair now. I go, oh, you didn't before? She goes, I used to shave half my head because I have a Nordic compass on my head. I'm like, who doesn't?
Of course you do.
But again, nobody's willing to say to her, who doesn't? So she loves me because she's like, oh my God, he's so cool. No, so honey, I'm not cool.
Okay, in a big country by big country, Dexy's Midnight Runners, anything. I'm just trying to throw hand grenades out at you as I'm hearing what you're telling me.
Their first dance, let's see if you know this group, because I don't. Heavenly by Cigarettes After Sex.
No.
Nope.
Never heard
Don't know him.
No.
Cody Jinks.
No.
Mother-son song.
Got nothing.
Called Mama Song. He's country.
Got nothing.
My recommendation to her today, because she out of nowhere goes, my dad loves Sarah Brightman. Can we do Sarah Brightman for the father-daughter? I said, let me go through her catalog. And I found a French song that, chanson d'enfant or something. But in English, it means song of childhood. Mm-hmm. And I sent it to her, and I'm waiting for her to get back to me. And I'm hoping I get the tear emoji of oh my God, this is perfect. So in 3 songs, it's a band I've never heard of, a country bumpkin, and maybe a French operatic piece. That's just 3 songs in a row. You tell me how this can't go to Funville very quickly.
Well, the thing that I wanted to bring up, because it was something very interesting that you had said when you said you're talking to the bartender. I'm going way back here. I'm trying to remember everything you said, and then I got to reply, but then you move on, and I don't know.
I try to keep you on your toes, Brian. It's a mental exercise
of hanging with Jay.
Yeah.
If I can hang, I'm doing well. If I can't, then it's a normal.
How am I doing mentally? Talk to Jay. See if you can figure out what he said.
How sharp I am.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking about the bartender saying, "Oh, they're going to let you DJ."
Yeah.
I played probably, I would say, between 20 and 30% of the night was requests from my group last Saturday.
Right.
Okay. And they worked. I will also tell you that my personal selections that I used to build around these requests worked better.
I don't doubt it.
Well, I'm just saying. So when you walk into this event, yeah, of course they want this, of course they want that, but you're going to be able to do things around those songs,
right,
that are going to work better than what they're asking for. You know why? Because we're DJs,
right? Well, and this is an interesting avenue to take, because I'm sure this comes up with other DJs. As I said earlier in the conversation, this year, and I think I said it before we went on air about buying some other stuff, the majority of my weddings this year are at 2 locations, and of those 2, 80% of them are at 1. I see the same staff every single wedding.
Right.
So I have this ideology that I learned early on in my DJ career. If you're DJing around the same people,
don't play
they're part of your audience.
They are.
And what that means is if you deliver the same show week after week to new clients, the clients are happy and they're going to review you and be nice to you and tip you and all that. But there are times you have to put it in the staff's head that you're above and beyond the other DJs. Because to me, they're going to be talking to the future clients who may say to them, "You're at every wedding, aren't you?"
Right.
Yep, all 85 of them this year. Hey, let me ask you, who do you like as a DJ? Oh,
right.
This guy, Jay, kills it. He does these mixes. He's big on doing Little John and Luke Bryan, and he does this and that. So I spend part of my evening running over to the bar going, because the bar is only like 10 feet away from the DJ booth, going, dude, you tell me if this works or not. And I want them to have a good night because they're going to help my career. Well, because they have a voice.
What you're talking about is the same thing that I experienced doing clubs.
Yeah.
When you go in and you have like a Friday or a Saturday night, or even if it's a weeknight or whatever, and you've got the staff there, if you play the same damn songs every single night, even if your crowd's different every night and they don't care, they're going to get sick of your ass.
Yeah, they are.
But what I also realized was, and I don't know if you probably do this, and let me know if you do. There's that bartender or that waitress or that server who really likes Don Johnson's Heartbeat or whatever the song is. So anytime you can, you slip it in as a nod to them.
Yeah.
100%. If you can work that out without screwing up the program, that's the coolest, because then they really like you. Oh, he plays my tune every chance he gets. Becomes a running joke with them.
I have the same catering staff, the exact same staff at every event. 3 weeks ago, I did a wedding where the bride and groom for a cocktail went with country. For dinner, the groom, I said, if there's other music, let's represent you guys. He goes, I used to be a big Screamo fan. I'm like, I got you. We put together a playlist. It was the more acoustic-y versions of like Red Jumpsuit Apparatus and Panic and Day to Remember and Day in My Life, and the stuff that the angst-ridden teens of the day, early 20s, single Morrissey style pissed off people would dig. Well, that particular night, the dining room staff, who my interaction with them is usually like, hey guys, how's it going? I had them constantly coming by going, oh my God, I love this song. And at the end of the night, they were like, oh my God, this is so awesome. So, like, that was my playlist. That was so awesome. So I ended up doing it again 2 weeks ago, and I got the same reaction. And I brought it up to 3 or 4 future clients saying, hey, are you into alt? And oh my God, I used to be the biggest fan of Death Cab for Cutie and this and that. I go, let me put something together for dinner. I said, I've done it a couple times, and the dining room staff was lit up. They were smiling, and I learned something very valuable 3 weeks ago. When the staff at the venue is happy and excited, it filters down to the guests.
Yeah, that does.
And even though I knew that, I'd never seen it in practice. So I never bothered to consider, you know, like when we do sound checks for me or you or anybody else, I'm there a few hours early. When I play music for the staff, I'm not playing Macarena and Cupid Shuffle. I'm trying to play stuff that I think is cool and try to catch a vibe with them so they like me. And again, they can report back to their staff and their bosses. That DJ was dope. He was awesome. He was totally on his game. It really is. But now that I know I've got this staff around me, I've told a couple clients, I go, this may sound bizarre, but hear me out. The dining room staff that's taking care of your family and friends, it actually matters if they're happy and smiling. Now, it doesn't matter more than if you're happy, but look at the added, and the 3 clients I've said it to have all signed up for the same playlist. They're all having the same music for dinner because they agree with me. If the staff's walking around smiling and beaming, it only adds to the excitement of the guest.
Right.
And I didn't think I could learn much at a wedding after 25, 26 years of doing them. And it really opened my eyes to, you know what? Every wedding can be a learning experience.
Oh.
You know, every wedding can give me some new piece of, you know, whatever in my arsenal, in my tool belt that I can draw to and say, aha, I've seen this before and I know what to do. Or I know I can take this road and get a different result. I think we're so much more involved than we give ourselves credit.
Right.
We're so much more affecting than we give ourselves credit that it's important to know it's the music, though. It's not my voice. It's not my appearance. It's not me jumping up and down. It's the music I choose that night. And I'm sure, like you guys, I genuinely get off when someone comes up at the end of the night and goes, dude, I've been to a lot of weddings. This is the best music I've ever heard.
It's a lot of things. I don't think you can say it's the music. I think it's a
no. But it's a big part because the music they hear at other weddings, there is the top 200 typical.
It's also
this is what you get at a wedding. And I love when they come up and say, man, I go to a lot of weddings. This is not the music I normally hear. And it was awesome. Well, I don't normally hear Earth, Wind, and Fire, you know, Boogie Down, or I don't normally hear this, or I don't normally hear that. Well, I mean, I've been on a Poison by Belle Biv DeVoe kick because at 112, it works with a ton of stuff to go up and down.
Let me interrupt you for a minute because there's only one way to get a word in. I just want to say that you're right. Music and your ability to put sets together is incredibly important, but I don't want to at any way marginalize just our personalities, the way we conduct our business, the empathy we show for the crowd in front of us. There's a lot of factors involved. The music is part of it, but the music is just part of it. It's not the biggest part or the most important part. It's just a part. You have to have all of these things for, I think, an event to look really good. You know, it needs to be a complete package. You know, I don't know.
Yeah, no. And I agree with you there. But it just, I guess, because it's so easy. And I admit 5 to 10 years ago, I had standards. I had this works for dinner.
Yeah.
This works for cocktail. Let me just do this. Or I would recommend this. And I wasn't as daring as I am now to say, tell me who you are. Like my weddings now, if I do 80s for cocktail, I'm doing something totally different for dinner. And then the dancing, and I tell them, the dancing is for your group. So my goal is to read the crowd and play what works for them and you included.
Right.
But the dancing is the after dinner. That's why you invited them, for them to have a good time. Don't try to impact their night by saying, man, it's got to be punk and alt. Yeah, but what are your guests into?
You know what I say to my clients? Simply this. I want your personality to be reflected in what I do.
100%.
And, you know, they could dance, they could not. Either way, I'm fine with that. I just don't want them to leave.
No,
That's
exactly.
all I say. You know? So I'm not, when I was young, I used to drag people onto the dance floor. I mean, I was just brutal about it. Like, there must be dancing. If there's no dancing, there's no life and there's no party. And I've failed and I'm not that guy anymore. You don't have
I've said on the mic, if you're not dancing, it doesn't bring extra good luck to the bride and groom. Like, how obnoxious is that? If I was a guest and a DJ said that, I'd be like, I'm out of here.
I used to do mixers, all kinds of stuff just to drag people out. But now, as long as they're still there, I'm happy. And how do I keep them there? I don't blow their heads off with the PA.
I was going to say, not too loud. Yep.
Yeah.
Good mixes.
Pleasant. Hey, I've heard this in a while.
Yeah. Interesting choices.
I don't want to push anybody out of the room. Like, I don't want to push the older grandparents or aunts and uncles out of the room with music that would just make them want to leave because they couldn't handle it anymore. So when we're talking about even contemporary R&B hip hop sets, I try to keep them 2 songs, then I do something else. I got to keep mixing it up because I'll feel like they'll hang tight for a song, but they won't tolerate 5 in a row. They're just not going to do it.
No.
So it's all these things I'm thinking about when I'm doing an event. It's not just the client. It's not just the guest. It's the whole. It's the greater good thing.
Oh, absolutely.
What's best for everybody and everyone. I don't want to leave anyone disenfranchised.
No,
I do something for everyone. Can I?
You invited them. You invited them to be here. My ultimate goal is, in a perfect world, if you said, "What's a perfect wedding?" Every single guest stays because they wanted to.
Yeah, it's a fun, pleasant experience.
Everyone is there at the end of the night because they had so much fun. And I think we can impact a negative as easily as a positive because we can play too loud. We can totally read it wrong.
Right.
We can totally fall into the like, hey, this cute girl keeps asking for Drake. I'm going to rock some Drake out. Dude, no. And the other thing is this, and I'm sure you do this, and you do it certainly on the comedian level, but I've been paying more and more attention now that DJs are back. Let me tell you, Instagram has become a huge source of information. I watched a DJ the other day, this guy Seraphin, who, as a disclaimer, I do know him. I'm friends with him. He's doing a set, and I've got to find the track he was dropping. He was playing some like really upbeat All I Do Is Win.
Okay.
DJ Khaled. All I Do Is Win. And as a lot of us do, including me, hands go up and it's silent, and it's a great time to slam in another track. He slams in the door closing on Whitney Houston's version of I Will Always Love You. So hands go up, bang, and the whole place started singing. And I'm like, and on the end, he did a quick loop and started cutting it and went into some like big housey song, and they lost their minds. And I was like, wait, what is this? This is awesome. I'm not going to do this verbatim, but I'm going to more than consider. So this past Friday, when I had the great playlist, boom, I'm doing All I Do Is Win, and on one of the hands go up, and instead of staying there, I like, boom, came in with like, I don't know if it was like City Girls Twerk or something, but slammed in something else, and they went nuts. And I'm like, I want to always be better.
I actually do a lot of that. I love doing that. Coming in on that break.
Yes.
Expected to keep going, but no, I go somewhere else with it. I do it all the time.
Well, you get them to sing like on Bon Jovi, Living on a Prayer, where you kill the volume and they start singing. It's a great time to come back with like that first drum beat of AC/DC, Shook Me All Night Long or something. That just throws them off kilt, like, The
one I did for a long time was Jump Around House of Pain. There's that bit towards the end where there's
32 seconds left. It's a quick
scratch.
Yeah.
And at that scratch, when it goes right before the scratch, I put in DJ Cool going, boom, da 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 da. I mean, I do something.
That's a great one.
All the time.
That's a great one.
All the time.
Yeah.
So
I think we need to up our game a little, especially with everything that we went through last year.
speak for yourself there, buddy.
Well, no. Up our game in that we can't. No. Well, you've done a few events already. I have. I got to tell you, the events I've already done, they're not like the events I did 2 years ago.
That's supposed to be. It's always
But that's
supposed
the
to
thing.
evolve.
But it's evolved so much further than I expected. I didn't think it would evolve this far. I didn't think I'd be going to clients in 2021 saying, I got this Screamo set and I got this, country mixed with, I'm dropping Brooks and Dunn the other night with like Little John. That's not what I would normally ever do.
Howie,
But
do you think that Jay's
it
excited
went.
about work right now? Do you think he's excited about
Super
being out there right
stoked.
now?
Super
it's really
stoked.
hard to tell with Jay when he's excited or not.
Yeah,
I don't show my hold card.
he's-
That's the
yeah,
problem.
yeah.
He holds
No
his
tells.
cards close to the vest.
Yeah. Can you see me as a professional poker player? You want a card?
You'd be broke.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I got the best hand. You wouldn't believe it.
Why is everyone checking out? I don't understand.
I had this hand one time when I was playing at this casino.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would be. Yeah.
No, I just,
Fuck
yeah.
at it.
I love what I do. We talked the other night, somebody hit $200 million and my son was in the car, Colin, and we were driving and I said, wow, $200 million. Like, you're talking like life, obviously life changing money, amazingly life. And I was like, I'd give everyone I'm related to $1 million right out of the gate. Like
Chico.
probably 10. Well, think about it. 10, 12 people are all getting a check for $1 million. Go put it in a bank account for the ones under 18. They get it at 21. They can go to school, do whatever they want. The adults, if you can get 7-8% interest, that's $70,000, $80,000. You need more, just ask. I got it. And my son said something about like, what would you do? I said I'd buy 5 2-bedroom, 2-bath condos around the world so I could go to Boston. I could go here. I could go there. What about work? I said, I'd still work. What do you mean? I said, no. I would actively still try to get bookings for weddings. Mm-hmm. Are you serious? I'm like, oh, no, I'm dead serious.
Yeah.
Well,
Hey, Brandon, the multimillionaire DJ. I'm here because I want to be.
But he's like, but why? I'm like, because I love what I do. I would do it for free. Mm-hmm. In fact, what I would love to do is then I would open a bar club.
People don't appreciate free.
No. And that's why you have to charge, because they don't see the value in free, because there is no value. But I would continue running my DJ business because I genuinely love showing up and having that effect at the end of the night. I play guitar, you play bass. We've been in bands. You think it once in your early 20s, this is my life, this is what I'm going to be, I'm going to be famous. And then you get older and you realize that 30 or 40 years later thing, it wasn't about ever being famous. It was about always being in music. Yeah. I have a good friend who's a dentist and he's in a cover band, and we were in high school in bands and jamming together. And he said to me, he came to NAMM and he goes, I really envy where you are. I'm like, okay, you're super rich, you're a dentist, you got a great life, big house, practice. He goes, no, but you're 24/7 in music.
Yeah.
He goes, that was always the goal.
Yeah.
He goes, I'm 3 hours a day in music. I'm the other, rest of it, I'm a dentist. I'm working, I'm doing what I have to do. But you're just always on for music. And I'm like, I'm very lucky and I'm grateful.
How many people do you feel like that you meet? Like, let's say within a month, a normal month, civilian month, when you're out gigging or whatever, how many people do you think that you meet who say things like, I used to be a DJ? Like they moved on and they're doing something else now. It was like a young man's sport for them. And here us idiots are, I
have a wedding in June, and he said to me, when I got hired, he goes, yeah, by the way, I used to be a DJ. I'm like, no way. He goes, back in the vinyl day. He goes, I just spun vinyl. I'm like, did you use like software, Serato, Track, or anything like that? He goes, no, I do like house parties, just vinyl. So in my head, I'm like, wow. And I think I said to him, like, oh, damn. So you like, that's awesome. Like you had to lug the crates. You had to really have your music knowledge. He goes, and then you start to see it crumble a little. It's like, well, no, I didn't do a lot of parties. I would do some parties. And it's not a put down, but it's the reality of this is a big investment. It's a financial investment. It's a time investment. But ultimately, it's a passion investment. you've got to know what's going on new and old. We've talked about, when do you age out?
Have you seen the movie Shaun of the Dead?
No.
Well, it's a good watch. It's one of the best films in the last 20 years, in my opinion. It's smart, it's funny, it's good. But anyway, Sean is supposed to be in his late 20s. He is an appliance salesperson, like, I don't know, like appliance store or something. And he's also a failed DJ. So he's 27 and he's good at turntables and the records that he just, like hip hop beat back man parish and things like that. Excuse me. But yeah, the character description is a failed DJ at 27. Are you kidding me?
Wow.
I mean, it's funny to me.
It's very funny. I mean,
but we're lucky that we're still here.
Well, I get a lot of
we are, but
hey, I used to be in a band, but I don't get many that come up and go, I used to be a DJ, but I was in a band.
Oh, everyone was in a band. I was in a band.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Sure. But it evolved to something else because I just didn't want to deal with other people and their drama. So
right. I think you get the I used to be a DJ thing here and there because there's that. It's part of the pathway of what you're doing. The wedding I did 3 weeks ago, the groom is now moving to Nashville because his agent just moved there. He's a singer. I'm like, oh, you do singing? Like, when you're on the phone with somebody, like, what does that mean you're singing? Well, Rome, who's the lead vocalist for Dub All-Star Dub or Dub All-Stars, and really for Sublime now, and Dirty Heads, like you've heard his voice, he's got a great voice. He produces everything that my groom does. So this was like pretty legit. And I said, like, what kind of music is it? He goes, R&B. I use auto-tune on every song. I just like that vibe. And I'm like, oh, okay, cool. And it did sound good. I played it with Drake and Justin Bieber and Weeknd, and it fit perfectly. It really did. But that's what he does. So his crowd was very into that. And I'm going to be the first to tell you, I'm a fish out of water. I'm not that guy. But I made it work, and it was tremendous. Because I found that was the night I did 90s, and I was doing like, I Love Your Smile, and Old Jagged Edge, and, the Let's Get Married and Next Too Close, and that kind of vibe. I even did Thank You by Boyz II Men. Went over huge. They were like, I haven't heard this in forever. And I'm like, dude, you're 29.
The point that I was trying to make before wasn't necessarily where you went with it. I was just thinking to myself how cool it is that we're still able to do this. Because some people, they did it and they had some expectation of what success was. They didn't reach it, so they went off and they became a dentist. Or whatever the case might be. Right. This is just what we wanted to do. We stayed here in this lane. I mean, they might have taken a detour here and there, but we got back on the road and here we are. And I mean,
well, and that's the beauty of it though. But I guess what I was trying to allude to was I'm now seeing, and we've had this conversation recently, I'm now doing sets that are fresh and new to the crowd. But in my head, I'm like, damn, I used to make this mix like all the time. Like I'm suddenly doing the Sean Pauls and Petey Pablos, and Outkast has come back on the radar. And obviously, the boy band stuff, but it's fun. It's like I envision in another month I'll be dropping that 101 Justin Timberlake Rock Your Body, because that'll now replace something I used to play recently, And it's fun
totally
for
get
me.
What you're saying.
Yeah,
there's nothing wrong with that.
No, but it's a growth. It's knowing where you came from. Yeah, because it makes it, and it's so poignantly true to say, if you don't know your history, if you forget your history, you're doomed to relive it. But I think if you remember your history, it only enhances your present, because now you have so much more information to draw from.
I was just wondering, Howie, if you had to guess, what do you think John would call the show? What title will he give it?
What title would he give this? I'm going to say, yeah, here's three guys that actually got to live their dream and make a living at it for the most part, except for that 4 years that we were all in prison after that drill heist in Vegas.
We got paid, though. I distinctly had money in the commissary.
With a good lawyer.
I could get ramen like at least once a week from commissary money. So I thought we were getting paid then too.
What do you think, Jay? What's John going to call the show tonight?
You know what? We're back at events and they're great.
I think Howie won. I like what Howie said with that.
Oh, I do too, but I don't see John typing out this, I want to see how he caps it.
DJ's living the dream. I think that is not a bad title.
That's a good title. No, that's a good title.
We're excited about Howie's excited about his booking.
Yeah.
And we're excited about the events that we did, and we're all excited about growth.
Yeah.
And that we're still able to do this, and we're not children anymore. We're grown men. We are elder statesmen in this whole thing of ours.
But we're still I'm sorry. I said it in the 90s when I was training DJs to work on boats, and I'll say the same thing today. Your age will always be a benefit in this game. And it will be a benefit because when I had to have new DJs and they would say, for like love song, should I play that song from Ghost? I'm like, it's called Unchained Melody. Don't call it the song from Ghost.
No, it's the song from Ghost.
Well, I don't know what it is. I'm like, but I'm telling you what it is.
Then you need to go flip burgers somewhere because this is
right. But that's my point. Like, you got to get into this. Like, I don't care. I may not like everything I play. In fact, there's a lot of what I play that I may look at and go, this is the only time I'm ever going to hear it. I'm actually surprised I even own this damn song because
I get excited when I play something I like.
But that's it.
It's unique.
The goal is to get through what you don't like, knowing that eventually you get to drop some knowledge on people and go, boom. Somebody came up to me at the wedding that I did for the singer guy during cocktail, like, dude, loving this vibe, man. Like, maybe trip it out a little bit. And I hit Blackalicious, Feel That Way. And if you don't have the song Feel That Way by Blackalicious, trust me, you will thank me down the road if you get it. It is this, what I would call trip hop, almost chillish kind of an urban vibe thing. It is very hip hop, very clean, and very well done for a song. And I dropped that, and he looked at me like, he had said, like I was John Wick, and he'd said to me, like, hey, man, like, so you're an assassin. And I whipped out a gun and shot 8 people dead. That's the look he gave me, like, damn, I've never heard this before. You haven't. I'm the DJ. I have.
And if you don't have that,
I'm here to give you knowledge.
If you don't have that, just play Johnny Deep.
Or play Digital Love by Daft Punk. That's one that...
I looked that up after you did a video about that.
I did too. I watched your video and I looked it up and I'm like, this is like Sac Noel.
It is.
And then I saw your back video and you're like, it's like Sac Noel. I'm like, oh my God, he's totally right.
Right.
Well, and it's a remix of
it's and it's obviously Spanish, and so I didn't know what it meant. So I said, Lori, because she speaks Spanish.
I think it means these people are crazy or something like that.
I said, what does this mean? She goes, these people are crazy. And I was like, oh, okay, thank you very much.
People.
I said, can you listen to it?
Yeah. I'll be honest with you. I don't think I would ever find the occasion, but I've been wrong before where that track would really roll. But it's one of the 60,000 songs you have
at the party he did.
Looking at your crowd, and this is something I tell every DJ. Your job is to profile. Your job is to look at your crowd and determine what is going to work for them. Like if you have a big crowd like Brian's, profile, figure it out.
The proof is in the dance floor. I mean, it was full.
Little backstory on how this all unfolded. They kept coming up and asking for the Johnny Depp song. And I'm like, what is this? And I had mentioned on my breakdown video, which I shot like as soon as I got home, that I got a request for Johnny Depp. I don't know what this is. I've got to look it up. And while I'm uploading this video, I will look it up. And I looked at a couple things and nothing really made sense. and there were a couple songs. There was something by Johnny Delp. There was something by somebody else that had Johnny in it. And there were a lot of comments in the comment section where people swore it was this song or this song or this song. And then a couple people were like, hey, it's this German song from 6 years ago. Why don't you know it? I'm like, well, A, I'm not German. B, no. I know it is the, Estomoy Loca song because I know Chicago. I mean, I profile Chicago in this regard. I know what these people are into. Chicago's into stuff that nobody's into. Right. And it doesn't leave Chicago. It's always been like that. They're highly sophisticated with their dance and house music. That is definitely the track they wanted. I just didn't have it, and there aren't even that many YouTube views on it. It's not that well known, but I bet it's known on campus, and I bet it's known on the mix shows.
Yeah, it had to be regional because it came out in 2020.
Yeah, it's
so
not that
for
old.
them, that was their junior year or whatever. Yeah.
And so that has to be the track. There's no other explanation. Why would they want some 6-year-old German song that doesn't even make sense? It's like Jay said, you got to profile it.
Right. You really do. And just knowing where they're from, just knowing when I say every client, where's your group from? Oh, I grew up in Orange County and, we're 28, 29 years old. Okay, boom. Oh, so for cocktail, want to go for like an Orange County vibe, kind of do a little Social D, a little ska, do a little drop, a little No Doubt, a little this, a little that. Oh my God, yeah, that totally works. And they'll give you information that you then put in the back of your head. And the next time you go, hey, how about the Bettys? You know who they are? Like now the next person that ever runs up to me, which I guarantee will never happen in my lifetime. But if they do and they go, man, you know what I'd like? Wardruna. Oh my God, I love Wardruna. You know Wardruna? Yes, you, me, and the other 800 million people that play Dungeons and Dragons full-time in their basement, we're all on board with Wardruna and Lords of the Ring. Because now I know what that profile is.
Yeah.
And that's my point. The next couple gets, you know what? I think for dinner we should do some of the instrumental Lord of the Rings pieces. That's our favorite movie. How did you know? Because that's what I do for a living. That's what I do.
This is another reason why we're living the dream. We're the only profession that it's acceptable to profile people without.
You're right.
People hate that word, but it's the only word that really makes sense. Yeah. That's 100% what I do. And I profile, and I tell people, I profile by the way they drink, they dress, they act, they talk, they walk, they respond to music. If I put on something during cocktail, which I call testers are, I'm going to put on Latch. Latch is a great tester by Sam Smith and Disclosure. And it's a great tester because it's a very mellow track, but it's technically more of a housey-ish track because it's like 120 BPM. I'll drop that in the middle of cocktail, and I'm looking. I'm doing this.
Yeah.
Who's moving and how are they moving? The very first dance of the night, I play a slow song, Unchained Melody, and I watch couples. Are they doing the spins? If they are, you're going to get Glenn Miller in the mood next. If they're not, you might get Happy by Pharrell. And if I do Happy, then I'm going to do my 80 BPM set of going Happy. Taylor Swift, Shake It Off, which halfway through I cut into Outkast, Hey Ya. Now that's another set. Like, there's things in my head that I can utilize from other events and say, I've been here before and I know the outcome. Let's try this. Years ago, I told Brian about my One More Time by Daft Punk. And it was a night where I couldn't miss. I hit the post, which is when you speak before the beat. I said, like, when it got to the slow part, I'm like, folks, really excited. Make some noise, bride and groom. What a great night. Thanks so much for the memories. This is going to do it. We're going to ride this out. Everybody jump. And it was on the when it hits at the end. And they were like, I'm like, oh my God. And you get euphoric. You get like a high.
Yeah, you do. You
really do. And you drive home. And my wife would always look at me and be like, you coming to bed now? I'm like, no, I'm just going to watch a little TV. Now I'd go to the chill room. But then I would like have a beer, watch TV. But in my head, it was racing. It was the same thing if you've ever been in a band and played a show. When it goes well, you come off stage and you're high as a kite because you're like, yes, that was the goal. I hit the goal. That's what I wanted. But the downside is, and this happened at NAMM when I played the metal video set, I went back to the hotel room all alone, high as a kite, like on the euphoria of the event. and you have to try to come down off it. And that's why a lot of us, we go to Jack in the Box, we get something to eat, we come home, but we can't get to sleep the night of a gig. Because you're just like, it's in your head.
I know that happened to Brian Saturday because it was 3 o'clock in the morning, and he comes in the chill room.
Oh yeah,
and has this. He was high. Look. He had this look, and I interrupted some of the other guys, and I went, "How'd it go, Brian?" And we didn't get. We were there till like 5:30 in the morning. I know that look. I know that feeling.
Yeah.
That endorphin rush. That hey, I knocked it out of the park tonight, and I can't sleep.
But we're always so minimalized. We're joked about in movies. We're joked about on TV shows. Oh, the wedding singer style DJ. Oh, this guy talks too much. Oh, they're cheesy. They're goofy. Oh, they do the Macarena. But the reality is, we come into a room full of strangers who didn't ask for us to be there, and we have a specific amount of time with which to give them the time of their life.
And on that note, thank you so much for watching this week. From our superstar producer, Howie Darkstar, swinging Pastor Jay from Temecula, and myself, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.
Good night, all.